Hello everyone, welcome back to English Talks Daily, where we talk about English learning, personal growth, and everything in between. I'm Emma, and today we're discussing something that every English learner struggles with: staying motivated. Have you ever started learning English with excitement, only to lose interest after a few months? Do you sometimes feel stuck and wonder if you're even making progress? If that sounds like you, don't worry. Today, we have a special guest who has been through this journey and will share real practical strategies to help you stay inspired and keep going. Joining us today is Jake, an English learner who has successfully built a strong learning habit and found ways to keep motivation high. Jake, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Emma. I'm super excited to be here and share my experience with your audience.
Before we jump in, can you tell us a bit about yourself? When did you start learning English, and what made you want to learn?
Sure, I started learning English when I was 6, but honestly, I wasn't very serious about it in the beginning. I just studied for school exams, but then I had a moment that changed everything. It was when I traveled to Thailand for the first time. I was so excited to explore, but I quickly realized that I couldn't communicate with locals or even order food properly. I had to rely on gestures and Google Translate, and it felt frustrating. That's when I realized how powerful English could be, and I wanted to master it.
That's so interesting. Many learners struggle to find their why. But once you have a strong reason, motivation becomes much easier to maintain. Now, let's talk about something that happens to almost every learner: losing motivation. What do you think are the biggest reasons why people give up on learning English?
That's a great question. I've noticed a few major reasons why people lose motivation. I think one of the biggest reasons people lose motivation is they don't see results fast enough. Many learners expect to be fluent in just a few months, but when that doesn't happen, they feel discouraged.
It's like going to the gym. You won't see six-pack abs after just a few workouts.
Exactly. Learning a language is a long-term journey, and progress isn't always visible right away. Another reason is they get overwhelmed by too many rules. Grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary. There's just so much to learn. Some people try to master everything at once, and they burn out.
Yes, sometimes trying to be perfect actually slows us down.
And then there's the fear of making mistakes. A lot of learners are afraid to speak because they think they'll sound stupid.
But mistakes are part of the learning process. Even native speakers make mistakes.
Exactly. But because of this fear, many people stop practicing, and when they don't use English, they don't improve. Lastly, they lack an English-speaking environment. Many learners don't have friends, colleagues, or family members to practice with, so they feel like they're learning alone.
That's so true. And when you don't use English regularly, it's easy to forget what you've learned.
Exactly. But I found ways to create my own English environment. I joined online language exchange groups, listened to English podcasts daily, and even talked to myself in English.
Talking to yourself. That's an interesting technique.
Yes, it sounds funny, but it really helps. I would describe my day, my thoughts, or even practice conversations in my head. It made forming sentences feel more natural.
So even if learners don't have an English-speaking environment around them, they can still create one for themselves. So now that we know why people lose motivation, let's talk about solutions. What can learners do to stay excited and keep improving?
Here are some of the best strategies that worked for me. To improve your English, start with small, achievable goals. Instead of saying, "I want to be fluent," focus on simple steps like learning 10 new words a week or having a 5-minute conversation.
That's so important. Small wins give us a sense of progress.
Learning English should be fun. I stopped using boring textbooks and started learning through things I love: movies, songs, even memes.
That's a great approach. What's your favorite way to learn English?
I love watching Netflix series in English with subtitles. Shows like Friends, The Office, and even reality shows like MasterChef are great because they have real everyday conversations. One trick I use when I don't feel like studying is the 2-minute rule. I tell myself, just do it for 2 minutes. Usually once I start, I keep going.
That's a great hack. The hardest part is always starting.
I changed my phone and social media settings to English, so I see English every day without effort.
Yes, immersion makes learning natural.
Having a friend or joining an online group keeps you accountable.
That's true. Learning with others makes it more fun.
I keep a journal of new words and reward myself when I reach a goal, like buying a coffee after a week of daily practice.
I love that. Celebrating progress keeps us going. Wow, these are amazing tips. If someone listening right now is feeling stuck, what would be your final piece of advice?
Don't give up. Language learning takes time, but if you keep going, you will improve.
This has been an incredible conversation. Thank you, Jake, for joining us today. And to our listeners, remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. Stay motivated, keep practicing, and see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe the channel, and share it with your friends.